Am I live now? I've been live 3 times and nobody can see me or hear me. I don't see how it's possible. Let me know. This is just the weirdest thing. I've never had this experience before. I don't know what's going on. Live now? Sue said computer problems. There you are. Okay, well, guys, I went live exactly when it was supposed to go live. And, the first thing that happened was typical luck. Apparently, the electric had been off and the IP address didn't work. So I fixed that and it went live like normal. I've done that a bunch of times in the past and it's always worked. But I kept seeing your comments saying, I'm not there. I'm not there. And I'm going, well, your comments are scrolling up the screen. How could I not be there? And everything looked normal and live from this end, but it wasn't apparently making a connection somehow. So I completely killed the whole thing and restarted the whole thing. And I guess it's working now. Sorry. I don't know. Just, did you ever hear it's not easy being me? Well, after you hear about all the things I have to tell you, you're going to really know it's not easy being me. I have a lot to cover today. I'm sorry. I don't know how this got messed up, but obviously we're working now. I can see your comments, and I see that there are some viewers out there now. It says 69 viewers at the moment. What a mess. So I thought I have so much to cover. I've never had this much to cover ever. So I'll get started here. We'll start from the top. I wanted to tell you about my day yesterday on jury duty. Now, I've told you in the past that on the big things in life, the things that really matter, I'm the luckiest man on the planet. There's nobody luckier than me. But on the little things in life, look out, because every time it can, it will. Like Murphy has nothing on me on the little things. So yesterday was a perfect example of that. And I was the only person out of 80-some people that wasn't one bit surprised. The only person. I'm serious. It was exactly what I expected. So we get there at 8:30 to check in. And by around 9:35, or maybe a little after 9, I'm not sure if it was 9:35, but 9:20-ish anyway, we were finally in the courtroom. And so they start the jury selection process, and they're asking random general questions like, do you have any problem understanding that our defendant is innocent? Like, it's not neutral. You can't feel like you're neutral on the subject. That doesn't work for the lawyer. The lawyer has to hear you say, yeah, he's an innocent man, until he's proven guilty. You know what I mean? It's that concept. Lots of people couldn't understand that concept, and it went on, and it went on, and it went on, and it went on. You feel like it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Some people are just eat up with dumb. So so they had all those kinds of stupid things that they were just fighting with all morning. So around 10:30, we take our first 15-minute break. Then we came back. And 10:45 or whatever, and then at 12 o'clock we take another hour lunch break. So we come back at 1. Well, at about 1:30 they say, well, we're having issues here. We're going to need to take another break, and they said come back at 3. So we come back at 3. Then at about 3:15 they say we're still having issues. It's going to take us a while. Come back at 4. So we come back at 4, and we sat out in the hall until 5:45. And then they bring us in, and they quickly chose the 12 jurors that are going to try the case. And it was a rape, sodomy, and incest case. It was a mess. It was just a mess. And everybody was going like, I thought I'd be home by 10. I thought I'd be home by 12. And I was the only person there that just wasn't one bit surprised that it took that long. It just didn't surprise me at all. I just expected it. And I told them, I actually said that I have a feeling we'll be back tomorrow to finally pick the jury. But fortunately, they did pick it at 5:45. So anyway, that's how yesterday went. That was a fun day. Trust me, that was a fun day. This coming Thursday evening, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to do my first live mandolin training. The format's going to be 30 minutes of lecture and demonstration, followed by 30 minutes of questions and answers. And I'm going to do my best to try to keep the questions and answers to the current lesson and not let people get ahead, because I know that's the normal tendency. Mountain View. I knew there was something else. I've got a little video here on the trip to Mountain View, so take a look at this. My friends, this car almost always averages about 34 miles to the gallon. As you can see there now, it says 38.1. I have never had any better mileage on this car than when I'm going down to Mountain View. Often by the time I get to Mountain View, it says it's 40-something miles per gallon. So I'm going to check that out today and see if it does that again. My friends, we're only about 10 miles away from Mountain View, and you can see I'm at 42 miles per gallon. Now, I don't know, but if you look at the gas gauge, it still says it's on full. I filled it up at Edgar Springs, Missouri, and that was 2.5 hours away. I think I'm going to have to stop and drain some gas out of this before long here. I'm afraid the tank's going to get over full. Well, we're in Mountain View. I'm going in the back way to where I stay. Thought I'd just leave the camera run here for a second or two. Let you see how we come into it. Just a nice little town. That mobile home court there on the right is, or I should say camper court, whatever you want to call it. That's Court Square. That's where the rest of the band stays. I stay up at the Knotty Squirrel, K-N-O-T-T-Y, which is just right up here. And this is on the right. This is the Knotty Squirrel Cabins. Nightly rentals. I don't know if my place is open yet or ready, but I'm going to give it a shot. I stay in the same unit every time. It's number 6 here. And it looks like the door's open, so she's probably in there cleaning. So let's see what the gas mileage looks like. 42.3. Boy, I'm glad it didn't get up to 43, because I sure would have had to get out and drain fuel out of the tank. Though you can see the gas gauge is just bumped below the F now, the full line. Well, we'll show you more about Mountain View as we have time. So here's what the Knotty Squirrel looks like. I'll walk in and show you around. Just a nice place, nothing fancy, nice and clean. There's a bedroom in here that is completely wasted on me. I sleep in the recliner. And the bathroom and shower, and of course toilet with the toilet seat up. Anyway, it's a nice, decent place. This is where I camp out while I'm here. This is camping to me. And of course I've already went to the store and got my sugar, salt, and preservatives. Got to have that, and a little bit of popcorn to boot. Well, that's it. Yeah, there you go. But that's it's a nice place to stay. Mountain View, the Knotty Squirrel's not very big, so there's not that many units. But if you ever decide to go down there and you want a place to stay, I recommend it. It's nice. Crystal is the gal that will take your reservation, and you can always tell her that Jerry Rosa sent you. And she's real good. She always, like, whenever I call, well, she also almost immediately reserves a place for Bruce, or vice versa. If Bruce calls first, she reserves a place for me. So anyway, let's see what's next. I've got so much here. I know I'm going to skip something, miss something by accident. I've got some photos of some of the folks that came down that view the channel. So here's Bert Pichon and his family. I think they're from Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken, almost down to New Orleans, in fact. And so that's Bert, his wife Frances, and their daughter Donna. And I might add that Donna is the one that took a lot of the video that you're about to see. So you'll see that here in just a minute. The next person that came down that views the channel is Jerry Freeze and Andrea, his wife. And that's Jerry there, and Andrea in the background. And Jerry is a real good musician. He plays guitar and mandolin real well. In fact, he could do a little cross-picking on that mandolin, and I told him that was one strike against him right there, because he could do something I couldn't do. But anyway, he's pretty good musician, good singer and everything. So I enjoyed picking with Jerry down there. Then there was Carl Howard that didn't play, but he just walked by and said hi, and he views the channel. So there's Carl Howard. And let's just jump right into one of the songs that we recorded down there. This was, again, recorded by Donna. She did the camera work. So thank you, Donna.
Okay, here we go. An old battered cane, weathered and worn, with the hinges all rusted and the fabric all torn, but still cradled inside was one old precious thing. It was Grandpa's old fiddle, old house swing in the rain. Grandpa's old fiddle played sweet melodies, and he played it from his heart for my grandma and me. Wrinkled old hands, he held it with love, and I can still hear it playing up in heaven above. Turn around. He was the most honest man that I ever have seen, and his time on this old earth was most precious to me. And he lived on the current river at the mouth of the springs, and at night the hills echoed as his old fiddle would ring. Grandpa's old fiddle played sweet melodies, and he played it from his heart for my grandma and me. Wrinkled old hands, he held it with love, and I can still hear it playing up in heaven above. Can you turn around, Bill? Was just a boy at the time, but I remember one day when Grandpa and the old fiddle some old tunes he did play. Well, now Grandpa, he has left us for heaven above, but he left me that old fiddle, and now I play it with love. Grandpa's old fiddle played sweet melodies, and he played it from his heart for my grandma and me.
Yeah, we had some good jams down there. A lot of fun. There's most of the jammers like to jam up at the pavilions where there's a bigger crowd, and for some reason, Gary and Don and those guys like to jam there at their campground, so we go down there and jam. So there's very few people down there, but there's a lot of people up at the gazebos. I couldn't think of the right word. Anyway, some other folks that we played music with down there, he wasn't pictured there, but he came later. The dobro player, Dan Bowers, he was with us quite a bit down there. In fact, he jammed most of the time with us, and he's a very good dobro player. It was a joy to get to play with him. And Pocahontas, Arkansas, I believe is where he was from. And Saturday evening, just the very last thing I did Saturday evening after we were done jamming down at the campground, I went up to the, Bruce and I both went up to the gazebos, and they had a hot jam going on there, and we got to sit in on it, and it was Britt Curry playing fiddle. Britt is a very, very accomplished fiddle player. I mean, like, he could play with Mark O'Connor. I mean, he's that kind of good. I mean, he's really good on the fiddle. And so we got to jam with Britt Curry, and Britt took my phone number, and I got his number, and the next time we're down there, he wants to jam again. So he's a really nice fella, and he used to play fiddle for Alan Jackson. He was nominated for Arkansas CMA Fiddler of the Year let's see, and he's shared the stage with Charlie Daniels and is heavily influenced by him. And let me see here, I get that mixed up. I'm reading stuff that was off the internet here. He was a former fiddle player for Alan Jackson, Rascal Flatts, Blake Shelton, and I don't know. Anyway, he's a very, very, very good fiddle player. That's all I can tell you for sure. I'm not sure. I looked for that real quick this morning, and I'm not quite sure I got that all correct there. So, but you can look him up. He's out there playing, and he's very, very good. Let's see. The players that you saw in the video there are Gary Haven, of course, on guitar, Bill Pilliard on guitar, Bo Horn on guitar. Now, Bo was sitting to my right. He was on the left of your screen there. Bo was also a viewer of the channel. We met him down there several years ago, and he comes back every year and jams with us. Bo's a really good singer. Bo had a bout with, I think it was throat cancer, if I'm not mistaken, and he's had some recent tests and examinations, and he was awaiting the results, and he's very afraid of what the results are going to say. So put Bo in your prayers, Bo Horn, and Bo may be watching this morning. And if you are, Bo, I really have been praying for you, and I really did enjoy getting to pick with you again. And let's see, of course, it was Don Davis on bass and Bruce Robinson on his Kentucky Mandolin project. If you remember the video on the Kentucky Mandolin where I built the whole new top for it and then later put a wedge in it to straighten out the neck, that was the mandolin that Bruce was playing. And Bruce's mandolin sounds really good. It's really coming onto its own now with that top. That was Grandpa's old fiddle. Here is That's How I Got to Memphis, and this is Bill Pilliard singing this one.
slept for 3 days and nights. That's how I got the Memphis. That's how I got the Memphis. Oh, I got to find her and find out why she had to go. Oh, I won't rest till I find out why she had to go. Well, thank you for your precious time. Forgive me if I start crying. That's how I got the Memphis. That's how I got the Memphis. Oh, that's how I got the Memphis. That's how I got the Memphis. Oh, that's how I got the Memphis. That's how I got the Memphis.
Yeah, Bill does a fine job. He's really a good musician, good singer and everything, and he's always got real good songs to play. Just thoroughly enjoy getting to play with Bill. And he was playing his gas station guitar there. You know, it says BP up on the headstock, so I'm assuming he bought that at the gas station. No, for those of you who don't know, he built that guitar in my shop. I gave him a little bit of assistance, and it's a good sounding guitar. Let's see. And that was, by the way, that was Bruce Robinson, the mandolin player there on the right of the screen there that you saw. And we've got one more song to do, and this song we hadn't. Well, first of all, it's a tough song, and that's the first thing. It's not an easy song to do. And the second thing is that we hadn't played it in 6 or 7 months, so it kind of is what it is, but here you go.
Oh, Glenda.
Like I said, this is a 50-50 opportunity. I told you a long time ago he could have killed her 3 verses shorter. Yeah, right.
That's a fine boy fight. The girl could feel special on any such night. Said James to Red Molly, I had told you it's offensive black like in 1952. Well, he seen her at the corner of the cafe. She's red hair, black leather, my favorite color scheme. Then he pulled her from behind and down to Knoxville they did ride. Said James to Red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand. I'll tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. I fought with the law since I was 17. I robbed many a man to get my Benson machine. Now I'm 21 years, I might make 22. I don't mind dying, but for the love of you. But if they should break my stride, then I'll give you my Benson to ride. Come down, Red Molly, called Sergeant McCrae. They've taken young James 80 for armed robbery. Shotgun blast hit his chest, left nothing inside. Come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. When she got to the hospital, it wasn't much left. He was running out of road, he was running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry. He said, I'll give you my Benson to ride.
Had to scroll up a ways there to get to back to the camera. There's a lot of stuff on this thing this morning. Yeah, we have good time, and that you got a little better look at Bruce's mandolin there in that shot. Let's see. I think I've covered just about everything. I did take a lot of video here on the farm that I've decided to put out in a separate video. I'll probably get that out yet today. It's about all the rain we had here and how the creeks were up and different things. It's some interesting shots. I think you'll enjoy those. So I'm going to put that out a little later today. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but it'll have something to do with rain here on the farm, I'm sure. I got quite a few products in to review. So let me show you this little short product review video here.
Well, my friends, this is the chair that I was supposed to receive to review. Look how destroyed the box is. This is the way it showed up. I don't know who delivered it. It looks like it was UPS. It's in pretty bad shape. So we got to wonder, is everything in there and is it still intact? I just wanted to record this to show that I haven't touched it yet. This is where it was. This is where the guy dropped it off. And that's what it looks like. So there you go. Now I'll get to open it up and find out what's missing. And while we're talking about products to review, I also received this battery charger, which I have not yet opened. Thought I'd just show you that as well.
And I also have that laser cutter, the Creality Falcon 2 laser cutter. And I've got that all set up down in the shop and ready to go, except that for whatever reason, the computer down in the shop will not talk to that darn laser cutter yet. There's a USB error and it's not, I don't know. Anyway, it's just not communicating via the USB port. So I've got to figure that out. And I've looked for drivers and all kinds of things, and nothing's worked so far. So I don't know what the problem is, but I'm going to have to work on that today. The other thing I'm going to work on today is putting that chair together and then maybe trying to do a short video on that battery charger, plus get the video out on the water issue here on the farm. I think you'll like it, especially if you watch till the end, because there's a little bit of a twist and uniqueness to the video. So I think you'll enjoy that. I think that's going to be it for this morning's vlog. I knew I had a lot of stuff. Let's see. Let's go into the comments here and see if we can make any sense out of any of that, since it was kind of jumbled up the way things happened this morning. It's like Tom Armstrong was #1 up there. And moving down, I see Carolyn Fike has some question marks. Jerry, I made a paracord strap for Dottie's new mandolin she bought for your online lessons. Eddie told me what video to find your instructions. Worked great. Well, good. Very good. I like the paracord strap. I know some people don't because it's so skinny. They said it hurts their shoulder. Well, it doesn't hurt my shoulder at all. I've been doing it for, 40 years, I guess now. And I prefer it because it's so simple and easy to put in the case. I don't have to deal with folding up a strap and all that. And I'm lazy when it comes to things like that. I don't have time for those kinds of insignificant things, It's just easier for me to throw it in the case, shut the lid, don't have to worry about it. Bill Webb says, good morning, Jerry. Says, missed you yesterday, Jerry. Well, thanks. Yeah, I missed a whole lot of stuff yesterday. That was one day out of your life you'll never get back right there. I'm telling you, it was a bad deal. It was really putting up with the, I don't know, at the risk of making people mad. There's just a whole lot of dumb in this world. And I mean, you know, the lawyer couldn't have been more clear. Now, the lawyer was very precise in his wording, and that's what made everybody have problems with the semantics, you know, like, no, he's innocent. He's not, you're not neutral about him. He's innocent, you know, that kind of thing. And they just went over stuff like that like crazy. And that was just one good example. There was lots and lots of that all day long. Whew. Anyway, David Tharp says, I saw a sign on the funeral home that read, the inventor of autocorrect died. Funeral will be held tomato. That's funny. Let's see. Looks like David Tharp again. I don't want to brag or make anybody jealous, but I can still fit into the same socks I wore when I was in high school. Well, the sad part about that is I still have the same socks that I wore in high school. I'm pretty sure I do. Wouldn't surprise me at all. David Tharp, I rear-ended a car yesterday. The guy I hit was a little short guy. He looked up at me and said, I'm not happy. Okay, that one I think went over my head. Probably because I'm not a very good reader. David Tharp, I said, oh, well, which one are you then? And that's when the fight started. Okay, that one's going over my head, David. I got to move on. I could read it again and make sense out of it, I'm sure. But that's the kind of reading problem I have. I can't put stuff together very easily. I have to read it 3 or 4 times. Larry Fisher, Jerry, new video this morning from Mike Morgan. He has a collection of his dead Civil War items. Wow. And is asking us if we would want him to do some videos on the collection. I said yes. I haven't seen it yet. Wow, cool. I didn't know he was into the Civil War stuff at all. That's cool. Let's see. Bill Rhodes, good morning, Jerry, and good to be back. Truly miss all of you. Well, glad you're here. And then I think this is where all the problems started here, maybe. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't go live like it normally did. It looked the exact same to me, and I could see your comments going up the screen saying, he's not there. Where's he at? You know, and I'm going, well, I'm right here. You're not hearing me? And I went a third of the way through that presentation there, and it was all for naught. So I had to do it again. Ronald Town says, where's Jerry? Well, there you go. Yeah. Shiny K says, Jerry, you're not transmitting. Let's see. Bill Webb, here, I think another run of the Rosa t-shirts would be in order. Mine are getting threadbare. Yeah, mine are pretty threadbare too. Charlie Rostern, the judge's gavel must have broken and he's busy fixing it. Yeah, that's why I wasn't here. Yep. Yeah, it was a mess yesterday. It truly was. Yeah, and Bill says he'll have a tale to tell. Boy, I sure did. Cup of cool. I had to go the way out and come back in. Yeah. Yeah, well, so did I, like twice. I actually restarted it 3 times, I guess, if you really want to get down to it. I mean, it just, like it didn't work, and I just shut down everything, started over again, finally got it to work. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's just one of those anomalies. Bill's there saying, Sue said he had computer problems. Yeah, well, it was some kind of problem. I don't know what the problem was. And then Ronald Todd says, Jerry's back. Let's see, moving on down. Yeah, Glenn Wood says, it's not easy being you. Trust me, you can't say that more clear. It's found me again. Okay, moving on down. Let's see. Yeah, Blackjack Guitar says the Rosa Luck. Yeah, with the thing yesterday, it definitely was. It was one of those deals. I literally did apologize to everybody. I said, guys, I'm really sorry. This is all my fault. You don't understand. It really is. And I said, don't ever And I mean, like, don't ever get in line behind me at a checkout. I guarantee you something's going to happen. Either the computer's going down or somebody's got to go outside and get their coupons and come back in. You know, that's the kind of thing happens in my lines. So don't ever, if you see me in a store, don't ever get behind me. Moving on down, Ronald Tuss says, lightning is bad, a dark bullseye in the middle of my screen. Well, that ain't good. Bill Webb says, don't sweat the small stuff. Well, you know, small stuff becomes big stuff when it's all the time, just constant. And it pretty much is that way with me. But anyway. Moving on down, Marburge, what prompted you writing your D-Day song? I blundered on it Thursday, June 6th. My dad was first wave of Omaha Beach. Well, that's exactly what prompted it. I remember back, I don't know when this was, back in the 80s, somewhere in there probably. I saw it was an anniversary. It was either a 40th or a 50th anniversary. It's probably a 40th anniversary, something like that. And a lot of the guys that were on the beach were still there at that point. And, you know, now most of them are dead. But, you know, a lot of them were attending this reenactment. They actually jumped out of planes and everything. A bunch of them, you know, actually parachuted down on the beach. It was a big deal. And so all of that was what prompted me to write the song. And I wrote it with June the 7th instead of June the 6th. It's kind of probably stupid. I probably should have used June the 6th, but I wrote it on June the 7th because it was like, you can't really go back to June the 6th. It was kind of what my thinking was, that those guys did that on their own. And anyway, I have a lot of respect for them. I really do. Ronald Todd, better now. Let's see. Bill Webb. Unfortunately, I sold both my mandolins and gave up trying to learn to play. Old broken fingers on the left hand won't let me reach the chords. Well, you can do it with 3-finger chords fairly easily on a mandolin rather than the 4-finger, but I understand. David Tharp, one fella said, you know, nothing rhymes with orange. And I said, no, it doesn't. Nothing doesn't rhyme with orange, does it? But, you know, I think what your problem is there, David, nothing rhymes with silver. I did get that one, by the way, just so you understand. If you write songs like I do, you'll learn there are certain words that don't rhyme. Orange and silver are 2 of those words. You can't rhyme anything with those 2 words. Well, not easily. I mean, you can make up a word or something and make it rhyme. Ronald Todd, very nice tripping. Well, thank you. Bill Webb, mighty fine. Thanks. It scrolled on me, doggone it. Okay, here, I found it. Bo, I'm including you in my daily prayers. That's Paul Lanier. Thank you, Paul. I'm concerned about Bo. I kind of think he's had a rough way to go already, and I just don't want to see him go back through that again. The Freeze, Jerry, really enjoyed playing with you guys Friday night. You guys have a great band. Well, thanks. We enjoyed it, and we were glad to get to pick with you there, Jerry. It was fun. Ben Boyd, and he's asking the $1 million question here. Just curious, why would you guys drive all the way to Mountain View and not play in the main pavilion area with everyone else? Well, if I had a good answer for that, I'd give it to you. I do. I usually do. And that's why I went up there Saturday night after we were done jamming at the campground. I went up there into the main deal. Of course, yeah, it was pretty late. There was still a pretty big crowd there, though. And, that Britt, I've jammed with Britt before, and he saw me, and he motioned me over, and we started playing. And it was enjoyable, to say the least. It was fun. And anyway, Britt is just, I'm seriously telling you, he's an incredible fiddle player. It's just incredible. It's just, there's fiddle players, and then there's people like Mark O'Connor. And he's like Mark O'Connor. He's that good. He really, truly is. It's unbelievable how good he is. Ali Hamstra says, listening in Holland. By the way, Ben, to answer your question more fully, I can't. I just can't. I would like to, but I can't. Let's see. Clyde Price. It didn't look like there were many flies or bugs bothering you guys there when you were playing. So last year we had to go back indoors. Yeah, well, there were a number of bugs around there. They had a few citronella candles and things out, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't real bad. I mean, occasionally you'd have a mosquito or something, but not too bad. Bill Webb, I took my Apple Watch to the computer store next door to the music shop where I work. I mentioned I worked at the music store and came back with a guitar to set up. Let's see. That happens to me a lot, Bill. Actually, it still happens to me a lot. Whenever people see me at a jam or something, could you take this back and fix this? Okay, sure. Simon Jardine, I have the same electric mower you've been loaned. Keep the underside clean, and the cleaner the base, the easier the grass can travel to the rear collector, and try to only cut grass when it's dry. Yeah, well, that's that's definitely all that's true. You should do that. A side note on that, Sue still really does like that little electric lawnmower. She still uses it quite a bit. And there was a whole family was here pretty much over the weekend, and I wasn't here, of course, but Sue said that the boys there really enjoyed using a lawnmower. You know, kids these days don't do stuff like that. And so they all enjoyed pushing that electric lawnmower around and cutting. They were cutting grass with it. They thought it was fun instead of work, you know. So they were having a good time with it because it was so light, you know. And even the littlest guy, and of course their parents were there too, so it was all supervised, but even the littlest guy was really enjoying pushing it, you know. And he was talking about how light it was. Simon Jardine, that joke is about the 7 dwarfs. I'm not happy. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's some private back and forth bantering there. I'm going to skip all that. Bill's guitar sounds awesome. Yeah, Bill's guitar is very good guitar. He had a Gallagher that he always played before building his own. And I mean, the Gallagher is a very nice guitar. I'm not knocking it. It's just that his new guitar is just as good or better. And that, yeah, his new guitar, or his guitar he built is really fine. And then if you guys have been keeping score, you know that he threw the guitar down the stairs and I had to repair it again. He didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but the guitar walked down the basement steps and landed down on the concrete floor. It was in a gig bag. It wasn't in a case. And yeah, it had a few little issues. I repaired them all though, and obviously it's been repaired before you saw that clip there. So the clip is after the repairs, of course. Larry Fisher, Jerry, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. Yep. Bruce Moore, boot strings make good mandolin straps also. Yeah, I have used them. I actually have. I like the paracord. It's a little bit bigger and, but it's not so big. And of course you can take paracord too, and you can, braid it up and make a real nice strap out of it if you want to. I mean, I just don't bother. I just use it as a single strap and it works perfectly for me. Mike Spivey, Jerry, silver wings shining in the sunlight, roaring engine headed somewhere and fly. Yeah, that's a great song, Silver Wings. Ben Boyd, I understand. Yep. I'd like to tell you why we play down there, but I probably better not. Let's see. Yeah, and Ronald says, I think it's somewhere in flight. That's the way I've heard it, is somewhere in flight. Bruce Moore, Jerry, my daughter-in-law's niece's husband is gone. I just got something over the word. I can't see it. He sold you your metal detector. Oh, Gurley. Yeah, that last name is Gurley. There's something over the last name there. Yeah, I bought it from, what's his first name? John Gurley? Can't think of his first name right now, but I think that's it. Anyway, he has a YouTube channel, and and he said he could get a good price on that. Well, I bought it, and then I'm not lying to you. The day I got it and opened it up, the prices dropped, and he put out a video about the prices dropping. Well, I paid like $300 more. I mean, I still got a good deal compared to what I was able to purchase it for in the past, but if I'd have just waited a couple of more days, I'd have got it for $300 cheaper or something. I didn't bother even inquiring about it because that's just the normal way it goes with me. I'm so used to that. I don't even bother anymore. I just don't bother. People say, don't sweat the small stuff. Well, I don't. I mean, I just let it roll off because it happens all the time. And, I probably waited 9 months to buy that detector. And then when the day after I get it, the prices drop $300 or $400. That's just normal. Bruce Moore, Jerry, never mind. That's the one I just read. Paul Akers, can you tell me why bone turns brown or dark when making nuts and saddles, sanding and filing? Maybe how to avoid this? Well, Paul, I don't experience that, so I can't tell you. I don't have it turning brown. I mean, it'll over time, it'll age a little bit, kind of a yellowish brown maybe, but it doesn't turn very dark anyway. I mean, over a long time, it'll get a little darker, but not very dark. So I don't really experience that. So I can't help you with that. John Gurley has his own YouTube show called Dig That Beep. Yes, Dig That Beep. Mm-hmm. And, I watch those guys. Simon Jardine, I was referring to the car crash joke. The small guy got out of the other car. He was not happy. 7 Dwarfs. Yep. Oh. That's like I said, if I would go back and reread it and take my time and read it, I'd get it. But I don't read well. And you guys I try to hide it as much as I can, but I'm not a good reader. That's why I just don't read books. It's just, I have to read the same line over and over to get it. Jerry, I usually braid 3 long leather bootlaces. Yeah, you could do that. I've seen lots of people do that too. Yeah, that's a nice way. Makes a real nice strap. Well, guys, I'm going to probably let that be it here. We had 170 viewers right now. I think we were up to 180 something at one point. But anyway, we'll see you tomorrow with something else. And I'm just one more reminder to put the training for the mandolin on your calendar for 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, my time, Thursday evening. Same time that we do our live shows. And we're just going to do them on Thursdays. And then the night that we have our live show, there won't be any training. So there you go. That's how that's all going to go. We'll see you tomorrow with something else. Thanks a lot for being here and putting up with all the mess this morning. Except I can't find my outro. Here it is.